I know we're here at the NHL Draft, but I got to, well, first of all, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Very happy to have you. We're going to get into the draft and all of that, but I got to Taylor Hall, what an unbelievable year for him. There was a lot of talk about your meetings with him ahead of this season and how he really took a big step this year for himself. He wins the Hart Trophy. What do you think the biggest difference was for him in his game? What was it that allowed him to really take it to the next level?
I think it really came down to comfort and trust. You know, the Edmonton trade really did affect him, and I think it took him a little while to get over it. But then his relationship with myself, Ray, his teammates, the organization, I think just our belief in him and his belief in what we were doing and the track that we're going on and building it, I think was a big difference. And he's a very motivated individual. So I think it was the combination of some maturity and the relationships he's got and the trust that he's built within the Devils organization have really allowed him, I think, to be able to express himself in the way he can, and that's as an elite player.
How important is direct communication with the players now? Because we always talk about the athletes are different, they've changed over time, but it seems like these kids, you know, they're smart kids, they're dialed in, they kind of want to know what's going on. How important is it for you as a coach to have that direct communication, as is the case with someone like Taylor Hall?
Yeah, it's very important in today's day and age because there's always constant feedback. So I think, you know, as coaches or managers, it is communicating your expectations to the players, but also it's a two-way street. It's, you know, they have expectations, and the way that they're raised and brought up today, it's they're always in communication with coaches and teachers and things like that. So for us, it is important. And when you have things that you want to do as a coach or manager a certain way, you have to explain to them why, and then that's how the buy-in comes in. But, you know, we in New Jersey, we try to really have a two-way street. Is we let the guys know what the expectations are, but we also want to have their opinions on their game and what they think is going to make them the best player.
And jumping on top of that as well, you know, as we turn our attention to the draft, a lot of these kids aren't going to play for a few years. And, you know, we can talk all we want all day long about their skills on the ice, but what makes a player coachable, and how can you identify that before they're ever in the NHL? I mean, what do you look for in terms of somebody that, like, that's a kid that I can coach and make better?
Well, we have a pretty strong criteria in New Jersey that we have, which is off-ice characteristics, because, you know, it's so hard to play in the NHL. It's so hard to be successful in the NHL that you have to have talent and skill to get there. But it's all those things that surround it. It's what is their relationship with their coaches? What's their work ethic off the ice? Is it diet, nutrition, practice habits? How they handle their teachers or billets? All those things you're trying to investigate what type of person they are, because that's when you know they're going to be coachable, and guys that are going to go the extra mile and understand that it's not just about skill, it's all the things that surround your skill that help you really turn into an elite player.
Part of your resume, John, goes back to your time with the U.S. National Team Development Program. So you understand how it is for the draft and what goes on. What does the draft mean to you based on your experience?
As a coach?
Just being around these young guys who have this day.
Well, I think it's very exciting for the players and their families, because it's something that, you know, obviously if you get to this level or you're here, you have high aspirations to be able to play at an elite level, whether that's college, junior, or pro hockey. So when you get drafted, it means that someone in an organization believes in you. And that's special. That someone in whatever organization drafts you believes that you have what it takes to be an NHL player. And I think it's inspiring for the players. You know, it is a little bit payback to the family for all the sacrifices that they do, but and it gives them, I think, a path and a goal to be able to get to.
All right, John, before we let you go, Devils obviously took a big leap forward this year. What's the goal heading into next year? What's the next step you're looking to take?
Well, we want to be able to continue to do what we did, which is really build on our foundation, be a very competitive team. I think in the offseason it's about every player and the coaches doing things to improve our team. And then it's working with Ray to see if we can to improve our team through draft or free agency. And, you know, we want to continue to build off of what we did this year, which is being an extremely competitive team that puts themselves in position to compete for the Stanley Cup.